What's up? My name is Ken Dumbo, the MC with the sauce. Don't forget to subscribe to J. Cool.
Colleagues and brothers, Honorable Nixon Chilangwa, who is also a Deputy Secretary General, and Honorable Chitotela, both MP for Kawamba and Pambashe respectively, who have been incarcerated. And I send a word of encouragement to their families that indeed when we stake ourselves up for public service, sometimes we pay the most highest price of being deprived, the fatherhood to the families and the leadership to the families. And so to you, the families of our two brothers, we wish you well and God's blessings during this difficult time. We, on our part, we shall stand with our colleagues throughout this difficult time and this difficult moment. Because as we say in my language, Ushruila mutembo wa munankwe no wakwe upokwa. But I'm also say that those that are wishing that there can be any shortcuts to try and get to people's representatives must follow the law, must respect the people's will. We are not here by our own selves. We are elected members of parliament by people. And the country is aware of what we have been through. All of us elected members of Patriot Front have had to go through the petitions through the High Courts of Zambia, where we were further declared as duly elected members. Some of our colleagues even went as far as the Constitutional Court. Why do we want to start taking shortcuts? So we, I think, expect, as my brother Honorable Tsanga has already spoken, that the judicial arm of government will be above board, because the judiciary stands as a pillar of any thriving democracy. Countries where people start feeling that they can't be protected by their own laws, we end up courting anarchy. And anarchy has never been desirable in any nation. So our desire is to see that the judiciary arm of government continues to inspire confidence in the members of the public. And those that are responsible for that arm of government must understand that they are there as custodians of people's trust, just as we are to serve the people of the Republic of Zambia in the legislative arm of government. With that said, I'll make brief comments on the issues that my colleagues have already spoken on. The security concerns of certain pattern of crime that seems to be becoming prominent. You see, crimes such as we are seeing the abductions start small, and then they are escalated. So the recent occurrences, such as the abduction of an honorable member of parliament, whose matter has yet to be concluded, and the people of Zambia are still waiting to understand the circumstances surrounding that aspect of abduction. We, as PF government, did what we could in terms of trying to create a secure environment for our citizens, especially in the cities, such as Lusaka and some cities on the Copper Belt. And of course, our colleagues, I heard them talk about it. I saw the minister launching a project called Safe City. As the name suggests, Safe City is meant to ensure that our communities in the cities are safe throughout the day and throughout the night. And so we invested in some equipment, surveillance equipment, to ensure that the movements of the motor vehicles and people of Zambia, and then public spaces. And what was remaining was to ensure that a legal framework was provided so that all these crowded places, such as shopping malls and other public places, are equally monitored throughout. Because other than pet theft, other than serious crimes, we also have to prepare for terrorism activities, because such activities don't happen at the least expected time. So, to see cases of abduction not being resolved when we have got some of these facilities beats my mind. It does beat my mind, because even as of yesterday, the person who was acting as Minister of Internal Security, Home Affairs and Internal Security, was lamenting and bragging about these installations that are meant to safeguard people's lives. How then can we have a person like a member of parliament abducted and these issues are not conclusive? The citizens are hearing recorded audios of negotiations. Again, those things no one cares. And the people that are being mentioned in those discussions are public figures who are supposed to protect their own citizens. It's a source of concern. Serious source of concern. We must be concerned, those of us who are parents and send children to school. If indeed it's true that we have got some girls who are alleged to have been abducted recently, something must now start to be done. If the police has to form a squad that will specifically fall upon these matters, the time to do that is now. It was JJ the other day. This week, it's another public personality, especially for you, the media, must even be concerned, because independent in IBA is your institution. It's your institution. And the key mandate of that institution is to ensure independent broadcasting for you, the media, to tell the nation and ensure that the institutions that are being registered are given the needed protection and the needed environment for them to operate. So if you have a person at the apex of an institution like that, losing his life like that, it must be a source of concern and worry. So my clarion call is again on the police command to make sure that they do the right thing before these matters get out of hand. So we have a number of cases that are yet to be resolved, and then we should be recording other cases. It's an indictment on the Zambia Police Service, and to some extent, the Ministry of Home Affairs and Internal Security. It's a duty to protect citizens without looking at their status. The other issue I will comment on briefly is the interesting revelations of how parcels of land are being offered or appropriated. I must state here that I've got high regards for the former Minister of Lands, but as citizens, we are now getting concerned. It was a story about a Vietnamese and the 6 million hectares of land. We haven't yet gotten proper explanations on who did what. And this has caused a lot of anguish amongst our traditional leaders, the chiefs. Because even when the chiefs are custodians of the customary land, they have a responsibility to preserve land for the future generations to come. So the greediness that we are beginning to see by few individuals must be dealt with. And those of us who are people's representatives are not going to sit back and allow our people to be displaced in their land. The issue of Vietnamese investor and where he was trying to get parcels of land, and those ministers who were busy facilitating, having kangaroo conferences, and trying to convince chiefs, must feel ashamed. And to a larger extent, that should fall in the same bracket of corruption. So don't take advantage of people's sufferings. People's suffering should not be used to disadvantage them. We had another diplomat accredited to Zambia when they were giving donations of a few metric tons of maize to the vice president, announcing to the nation that they too are beneficiaries of 10,000 hectares of land. But we need to know, where is this land being given? Where and who is sitting to determine these parcels of land and in which areas? Our people deserve to know. Should it honestly take a diplomat accredited to Zambia to publicly announce how they've acquired a piece of land? Last year it was about the Republic of Kenya. The minister tried to take a foreign minister, to come and announce that they were going to be given pieces of land. What sort of country are we? If you know the people fight for independence, why we have got boundaries? The reason why we have got boundaries of nations is to say, this nation, this is what you have. And there will be no one to come and create further boundaries to extend boundaries. And you have seen the conflicts that have been raising in boundary, determining the boundary areas and how people change beacons. Why? Because it's an issue of land. So if we don't manage this natural capital that God has given us, our future generations will come and judge us harshly. But we, who are people's representatives, cannot wait to come and get judged posthumously, harshly. We have to speak now. And what we are saying is that no one should think they can come here, like walk in the park, and start cutting people's land without their consent. And like I'm saying to you, our parents, the chiefs, traditional leaders, you've got a responsibility and duty to safeguard land for the people living now and for the people that will come in the future. It's very important. We shouldn't allow greed elements to start doing that which our forefathers refused to do against the colonizers. People fought for independence. People lost lives to fight for this land. So we can't have just a few elements to come and receive money, line up their pockets, and go and convince our chiefs and say, no, we are bringing investors. We are just bringing investors. We are not going to accept them. And we are going to sensitize our people. Today, mukubeba abantu besukutia muchenjele bantu kuti na mwikala mwaisa sanga abantu wala pime mpopo ba mupoke mpanga mwakano kwata pa kwikala mulela ndenti mpanga ali pa mnoma urban areas abantu bakabutukira kwisa. You are saying there is no land anymore in the urban areas. So if there is no land anymore in the urban areas, where are we going to take the people in the near future? So I thought I could make, and land touches on everything we do. Land touches on everything we do as a people. Farming, which is an activity where we depend on for livelihood, is land. It's land. That's why it's laughable that we can be receiving 1,000 metric tons from a country in exchange. I don't know whether it's in exchange for 10,000 hectares of land. It's laughable because we are capable of feeding ourselves. Even in the midst of drought, there are areas that we still have got where we get rains. So it's not acceptable that we should be trivializing the issues of land. Minerals that are being exploited by investors, it's because of land. So, if we are giving parcels of land, those of us like myself and my young brother there, MP from Pika, who are still battling out to ensure that our people, abantu besu, we are not going to sit back and allow people to come and just get parcels of land for the purpose of trying to do exploration of minerals. We won't sit back. As it is said in my language, so we still appeal to our leaders, to our chiefs, to ensure that they guard jealously what God has given us. Lastly, it's these by-elections that have been going on. We have seen our colleagues in the ruling party get excited by going to take again advantage of the starving masses. Where they induce by-elections by recruiting councillors in various wards, give them jobs. When there are so many jobless youths in those communities where they are recruiting ward councillors, just to cause by-elections. There is no winning of by-elections that is happening. It's just corruption and bribery, which is now we are seeing from the top layer. Probably that's why they are taking those proceeds of bribes. And now they are thinking they can start getting constituencies using the same means. You have got a lot of work. Just work for the people of Zambia who are starving. Everybody is stressed, including because we all go to the same shops. Our salary is more actually for pampeni. Mwebe ndakono tuma motoka pakutuwe uvike fero mamuvika na 300. Pakutu kunkuru kekofi. Budget. Before taula tontonga na nokushita kawunga. Nomba, uteko turelo mbo kutila, bombele ni pali fifi ntufire chusha abantu. Ubunga, ififi amalaiti. Nomutengo wa malasha nomba na umfire washukuru bantu balenja wayole abale tila mfaila kwa kaide pantu ofu tuwa ikali nomba fwe ma MPs. Pantu buchusha abantu wachilamu. Efu tufiro kubombera kumwe buteko. Wakala mitotela. Na ifo wa opposition we shall stop talking tukaleka nokola ntatu kale mitotela. Namba kutola mitotela shana abantu tabakweta malaiti. Oh tuwatoto mabombeni. Kubafunya fe wakaparama batwalo komukusunge mbushi. Washe mfifi. Uteko washani. Pantu fena mubola, uteko chawa kwa tibola. Na warao ni mesi ngatabale ingisha wala wafunya wa mesi kale ni hapa tubike mwa kwa tengishe kole lo mwa twalimishwa mulatea ni mwa wa prayer. Ba Mbappe mulatea bola twalimishwa. No mbale lo na chupa fumeni. Noti fitule mona. Atyo umuntu afiro kuingisha tukato wangu vika panamba tu ku defense. Nana kana molo nana ko tukatukula popafi. So nomba iwalete wati ya Rishad League. Champions League nomba. Kashika wele pashani. So turefo uteko buste inspire abantu. Emi kalile na ishopa. People are starving. In Salah. Vale toti abantu twaleta nomba bashinga manyela. Isala alapwa. Ifu twavapa bench. Twatituma nofu bala tea nomba abantu akabunga kae pa 50. Umufundo, we were just listening about the corruption that went into the procurement of fertilizer, which ended people in sharing fertilizers in Meda. The next thing you are going to hear is this issue of procuring maize. Maize procurement. You wait. Just as you have seen the scandal in medicine procurement, you wait for the maize procurement. It started with FRA cancelled, DMMU cancelled. Now we don't know where it is. We don't know where it is. But these are things that we are concerned about because medicines, it's people's lives. Maize, it's people's lives. In Salah. So, dear colleagues, I think my colleagues have spoken so much about the other matters, but we want to see the government active, proactive. Reshuffling people from one position to another might not be the solution when you have got human capital. I have given an example of football. Even the best of the best get substituted if their day, on a particular day, they can't perform. Substitute. If our president was always being reminded, that one we have went is corrupt. If quietly, yo. Kuyafi. SEC wakumona wale hapo kampion. Nomba kwa labati yo protecting people's integrity. So others didn't have integrity. Yeah. Only the angels of today have got integrity. What is there? Being in public service, we are to be transparent. We are like, I can borrow the words of the one senior Learned Counsel, Mr. Musa Mwenye, that we should be transparent. So that even when they are saying, no, you have done this, you should move with your head high and say, no, I'm not, openly and not hiding. Thank you so much, Honorable.
Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, J Cool, and turn on the notification bell, cause I'm gonna see you in the next video.